In this lesson, I'm going to talk about the third subchapter in the first part of the book about aging, illness, and death. And in this chapter, we are introduced to the three divine messengers. The first messenger is old age, and we are presented with an image of a frail, so with weak bones, bent over person with broken teeth, grey hair. The second messenger is illness. So, a person very sick, in pain, maybe on their deathbed, having to be lifted or carried by other people. And finally, the third messenger is death. So, a 2 or 3 day old, swollen, discolored corpse or dead body. And in the chapter, we read a story about a man who has done bad deeds in his life and is reborn in hell. And in hell, he's greeted by King Yama. King Yama in the Buddhist mythology is the god of hell, and he's like a kind of judge of people's deeds. And King Yama asks the man if he's ever met any of these three messengers. And he says, no, he's never met any of the messengers. And King Yama then asks the man, well, didn't you ever meet somebody aged, somebody extremely ill, or anybody dying? Of course, the man says that he did. So King Yama asks him, so didn't you recognize, seeing these things in your life, that you too are going to be subject to aging, illness, and death? You can't escape it. So why didn't you decide to do good deeds with your body, your speech, and your mind during this life? And this chapter really introduces the concept of karma and rebirth. So, through his own negligence, so his lack of paying attention and taking care, um, the lack of simple acceptance of this truth that he will age, become ill, and die, this man failed to do good deeds. So he chose to do bad things in his life. And consequently, he was reborn in hell. So here we have this concept, which is very important in Buddhism, that what you take into your next life is your karma. And your karmic balance, if you like, determines where you go in your next life and how you're reborn. And the main message here is that when we fail to recognize these divine messengers, so when we don't accept the simple truth that we will age, become ill, and die, we live in a reckless way. So we don't live paying attention to things. Maybe we drift through life and we create this bad karma. And this bad karma can have very terrible, bad consequences. So, some discussion questions. So, it's said that actually the Buddha, on his quest for enlightenment, encountered these three divine messengers along the way. So, why do you think this encounter was important for the Buddha? And do you think it was something pivotal or something very important in his quest for enlightenment? Second question, what did you learn about the Buddhist concept of rebirth and karma in this chapter? So, personally, I think this image or this thought of the King Yama, this god of hell, is extremely powerful here, and I think it's really helpful for um, giving us this feeling that what we do in this life can have consequences in the next one. And lastly, so this was the final part of the first chapter about aging, illness, and death. Which chapter left the biggest impression on you? So, in the first chapter, we were asked to recognize the truth that none of us can escape aging, illness, and death. In the second chapter, we had this very powerful simile about the mountain closing in on us and crushing us. And in this final chapter, we have this image of King Yama and somebody's judgment in hell.